This is 5 Minutes of Political Common Sense for America. I'm Brian Boeheim, the political engineer. And in this segment, I want to talk about the fact that President Obama is going to be doing an interview with John Stewart for John Stewart's TV show on Comedy Central, The Daily Show. I actually like John Stewart. I think he's quite witty. I think he's a very intelligent individual. But for those of you who have not seen The Daily Show, very democratic, liberal perspective on things. He will take a swipe at anybody who says something stupid, but for the most part, tends to fall in that direction. Here's my challenge. Not since Richard Nixon did Laugh-In have I been so embarrassed for our country and our leadership. What is the president thinking? You know my perspective already. I don't understand why the president's on TV every day, all days, 365 days. I'm sick of seeing the president on TV. But The Daily Show on Comedy Central? What are we trying to stoop to here? What level of disrespect do you want the world to be looking at us with? How can this at all in any way advance and support the American thought, dream, perspective? How does this move us forward? Now, I understand that what he's doing, he's reaching out to a young voter base just before the midterm elections and hope upon hope that he can save a few Democratic votes. But the reality is that's not his job. It's not his job to be spending our taxpayer dollars going around having these conversations about his political referendum. He's the president of the United States. Start doing presidential stuff. Are you telling me that there's not enough things for you to be thinking about? That your time couldn't be better spent sitting in a meeting trying to figure out what to do about our southern border? Figuring out what to do about the drug cartels and the problems that we're having there? That we couldn't possibly be thinking about, okay, if the Republicans do take over one or both houses, how are we going to work together? Maybe you should sit down with your cabinet and start figuring that out. Maybe you should sit down with the Attorney General and try to decide what the heck you're going to do about all of these terrorists that aren't being tried effectively. Well, how many more things do you need to be put on your list that you're not doing? I understand you're, quote unquote, the head of the Democratic Party, but that doesn't mean that you can spend every freaking waking minute on TV. Stop going on shows like The View. Stop going on shows like The Daily Show. You want to do an interview? Then do a news interview. I don't care what station it's on, but do a news interview to state a point or have questions answered. Matter of fact, why don't you not do that at all and just do it like every other president and have press conferences on the White House lawn looking presidential instead of sitting casually on a couch somewhere? I am really trying to understand this whole process, and I just don't. And I think, in part, what it is we've let the election cycle take over our lives. As citizens of the United States, we need to put a stop to this. We need to draw a line and just point out to these individuals who are running for office and all the people supporting them, including the president, it's just gotta stop. You've been listening to 5 Minutes of Political Common Sense for America. I'm Brian Boeheim, the political engineer. And if you like what you've heard here, then pick up a copy of my book, Political Common Sense for America. You can find it at Amazon.com. Also, check out our website, www.politicalcommonsenseforamerica.com or PCSFA.com. Until next time, be safe out there.